Some say Chinese is one of the most difficult languages in the world, and learning it is almost impossible.
So learning Chinese, the most difficult thing.
非常非常非常非常非常难
So I'm sort of tone deaf. I can't really hear them.
I think the cultural mindset is the biggest complication for
The
us.
grammar.
知吃思诗都还难
It's just complicated so much.
Only because you're not learning it in the right way. Why not try Takeaway Chinese, where you can take some Chinese away and experience progress day by day. Takeaway Chinese, we will promise you a difference.
你好，欢迎收听随行汉语 Welcome to Takeaway Chinese. I'm Yang Honglin with Georgia Masset for today's show. Hi, Georgia.
Hello everyone. I hope everyone is having a great day.
Yeah, me too. We always hope that when you're listening to Takeaway Chinese, you're in a good mood, you're open to enjoy new things and fun topics that Takeaway Chinese always tries to provide. And for today's topic, actually we're discussing something quite interesting, and I think Georgia would find related to quite so well because you're kind of from both Italy and France.
Exactly.
Both have really long history and fun culture and really unique culture as well, and a lot of cultural heritage resources. And I was wondering, what's your attitude on cultural heritage? I mean, by saying attitude, I mean we all want to preserve it for sure, but have you ever experienced any? Or what are some fun cultural heritage sites or items or experiences that you've had or are interested in having?
Oh, well, I think that something that I've experienced while traveling or that I see many people doing when they come, especially to Italy, but also France, those experiences that our heritage and all our historical ones. For example, in Italy, there are a lot of cooking classes, and not only where we can talk about our history and while doing something that reminds us of our everything that makes the country. And it's something that I've always tried to do. Even I've had a class on jiaozi a couple of years ago, and I still remember how to do it. And I think it's one of the best ways to travel, and even not to travel, but to experience a country and also a culture.
That is definitely true. And I think people have this misunderstanding or misconception about cultural heritage. That is, it is something quite serious. Ordinary people like you and me would not have the ability or the access to it. And we definitely won't be able to understand it because it's just too complicated with a lot of history behind it. And it's just hard to conceive. But I don't think that's the actual situation. I think for a lot of different country, for a lot of different culture, the idea of cultural heritage is that it is something that you can experience. It is something that you can enjoy quite easily, and it's quite accessible. And I do agree that if we are traveling to a new place, and this place is quite interesting with a long history, with a fun culture, one of the best ways to actually have a hands-on experience with it and have a real, very authentic reaction or interaction with it is to find out the cultural heritage and maybe experience it yourself.
I completely agree with you. We tend to see it as something very difficult to reach or that requires a certain level of concentration. So maybe it's not an activity where we can also travel and enjoy our free time and just free our minds, but it can be actually both. So we can go to the opera, but at the same time have a cooking class or a culture class. It can be very light, it can be fun, you can meet other persons, and it can be a very, very fun experience.
Yes, and I have to say the word for intangible cultural heritage in Chinese can be a little bit difficult. It is not in today's conversation. You do not necessarily have to know how to pronounce it or how to even write the characters, but I'd like to introduce it. And the intangible cultural heritage in Chinese would be 非物质文化遗产。
非物质文化遗产。
遗产.
遗产. Okay,
yes, precisely, because 非 means not. 物质 is matter or subject or tangible. So 非物质 means it's not tangible. Hence, intangible. So 非物质 points on the intangible part. 文化 is culture or cultural. We've talked about 文化 before. Culture, 文化.
Yes. 文化
遗产 is heritage.
遗产非物质文化遗产
Perfect. And it also has a short term that is 非遗.
非遗
Yes, 遗非遗 is much easier.
Nice.
If you say
Yes.
非遗, people understand.
非遗
Yes. So that is going to be the theme of today's Takeaway Chinese. If you're interested in Chinese culture and you want to get a grip on the Chinese language, then this is the show for you. Stick with us for 30 minutes and you soon see the rewards. And for more fun Chinese learning, follow our Facebook page, Learn Chinese, to watch many fun videos and live streams. But now, let's provide you with some free Chinese for takeaway.
看我剪的这个图案怎么样？
第一次尝试就能剪成这样，我觉得你非常有天赋。
谢谢。我听说在剪纸中，花常常寓意着花开富贵。
对，希望我们未来的生活都能幸福美满。
And that is the conversation.
I think this, we always say this, but it's something that we could say when I finally come to China.
Yeah, I have another understanding about it. That is, the reason that we feel like we can have this conversation is because these kind of conversations happen between a Chinese native and their foreign friends quite so much. These are
they're
the things,
so relatable.
And they're so relatable, and these are the things that we can actually do, and these are the conversations that we can actually have, which in my opinion is a really good thing because we can use all these expressions and sayings in the conversation easily with our Chinese or foreign friends. Yes. So for the first sentence, 看我剪的这个图案怎么样?
Look, what do you think of the pattern that I cut?
So 看
look.
Can I say 看看?
Yes.
Can I say 看一看?
Yes.
Can I say 你快看?
It depends. Is it urgent?
Even if it's not urgent, actually, I can say 你快看. It's kind of like
really?
showcasing my urgent need for you to take a look. So it does not have to be like, hey, there's a firework. 快看快看. If you don't take a look, you miss it. It's more like, I really want you to see this at this second. Not because it will disappear, but more like, I really, really want you to see it. So 你快看.
This is nice.
Yes.
I thought it would be a very important matter of time.
No, it's not about time. It's about my feeling, my emotion currently. So 你快看 actually works as well. But yes, definitely it carries this, I want you to do this right now or as fast as possible kind of sentiment. All right. So yes, all these actually work. And then 我剪的.
I cut.
I cut, precisely. So why is there a de here?
Because after a object will follow.
Yes, see, you know how to do these things now. Okay, so 的 can sometimes be used as a word to changing the nature of the words. So, for example, if I say 这是我剪的, this is something that I cut. So I make this by cutting. 这是我留给你的. This is something that I left untouched for you. So basically, I'm changing the verb into a noun. I can also do that with a adjective. I can also add this after a adjective to make the sentence more complete. For example, I can say 我觉得她很漂亮.
Okay, I think she's very pretty.
I can also say 我觉得她挺漂亮的.
She has a pretty voice?
Or she's just really pretty. It's like you add a de after it to complete the sentence. Sometimes it's hard to describe how come the de is needed after a verb or an adjective, but you can observe these kind of phenomenon and remember how it's used, and in the future you'll be able to say a Chinese sentence more naturally.
Okay.
Like a native speaker.
Yes, it takes some time, but I get what you're saying.
Yes, and in this sentence, de is necessary for sure. So we have to say 我剪的 this thing. You cannot say 我剪 this thing.
Okay, yes, it wouldn't make sense.
Yes, and 剪 here is cut, but it's cut with a scissor. It's not cut with a knife. If it's something that's cut with a knife, you have to say 切.
切.
Not 剪. 剪 is precisely cutting with scissors.
Okay, 剪.
So later we have 这个
这个 this
图案
图案
pattern, yes. So 图 is a picture. 案 is more like a pattern. It's kind of like the kind of picture that would repeat itself and appear again and again repeatedly and continuously.
Okay, in my mind it's very relaxing. It's something we need to follow a trace and with a little scissor.
Yes, that's 图案. And 怎么样?
怎么样 is how at the end.
How is it? How do you like it? 第一次尝试就能剪成这样，我觉得你非常有天赋。
You managed to cut it like this on your first try. I think you're really talented.
Yes, so 第一次。
第一次 the first time.
So how to say the second time?
第二次。
第二次 How to say the third time?
第三次。
Precisely. So 第 is like I am counting. When I'm counting, it's number 1 or 2 or 3. When I'm counting, I use 第. So instead of creating another word for first, the second, like in English, we actually use this structure to showcase it. So that's 第一次尝试。
尝试 the first try?
Yes, so try 尝试 when you try something, you can use 尝试. Do you know what 尝 means in itself, the character?
尝 is it a new experience?
Actually, 尝 means to taste.
Oh, yes, 尝尝.
尝一尝, have a taste.
Yes, now I remember.
Yeah, I don't know why, but 尝试 does not carry the meaning of tasting. It actually just means to try something. But I feel like, Chinese people agree that eating is one of the most important things in everyone's daily life. We say 民以食为天, so it's as important as heaven or the sky when it comes to food. So maybe that's why we consider 尝 a very important word and we include it in when you're trying new things, not only trying new food or new taste, just trying new things in general.
Oh, I love how everything is food related. Maybe it starts with food, but then we can try other things.
Yes, we can try other things. So that's 尝试. Oh, by the way, both 尝 and 试 in the word 尝试 carries the meaning of try something new things.
尝试.
就
really?
就 actually means then or just.
Just.
And 能
being able to.
剪
剪 to cut.
With a scissor instead of knife.
Yes, with a scissor.
成
to cut it into.
Yes, precisely. And 成 剪成 or any verb plus 成 means to create something with the verb. So it's like you said, it's to put something into, cut something into something, write something into something, paint something into something. So if I want to say, 这个字写成这样真不错. So maybe you are practicing calligraphy and using a brush pen to write a character and you've done a really good job. I say, 写成这样. So write it into this or write it to this. And I can also say, 画成这样好难. You're painted into something. So 成 basically means to successfully carry out the verb or the action that you put in front of the character 成. So a verb plus 成.
I remember this chunk from university. It's really stuck in my mind how the transformation of creating something has happened and it makes so much sense.
Yes, it makes so much sense. So 剪成这样, cut it into something like this. 我
like this. I
觉得
I think
你
you
非常
very.
Can I say 很?
Yes.
Can I say 真的?
Yes.
Can I say 真的很?
No.
Yes.
Oh, yes. Oh, really? I never heard of it.
If you say 我觉得你真的很有天赋, it's even better than 我觉得你真的有天赋.
Okay, I will start using it. I thought, I never heard of it.
This is a very common phenomenon in the Chinese language. It's kind of like you're using 真的 to describe 很 and using 很 to describe 有天赋. It's like saying you're really, really good at this.
真的很.
Yes. So then we have 有天赋.
有天赋 to have a natural talent.
Yes, so to be very talented. This is funny because in a lot of occasions, we see a Chinese word that can be used both as a noun and a verb, or as a noun and an adjective. But definitely 天赋 is a noun, and it is a noun only. So if you want to say someone is talented, in Chinese, you have to say they have talent.
Okay. And I wanted to ask you, is 天赋 used only for natural talents that come very easily on the first try, or even for talents that need a little bit more exercise?
I think you can, in real world, you can use it for both occasions. For example, if you say, 我认为你跳舞很有天赋, I think you're a natural when it comes to dancing. We know for a fact that no one can dance any form or any style of dances. They have to practice, but they can have the talent. For them, it can be easy to learn new ways of dancing. So it's a little bit both, but definitely the word 天赋, 天 means heaven or sky. 赋 means to give. So this is something that the heaven gives you. This is something that you're born with.
So a little natural talent is required.
Yes, definitely, at least a little. So 天赋.
天赋.
And then, 谢谢. 我听说在剪纸中，花常常寓意着花开富贵。
Thank you. I heard that in paper cutting, flowers often symbolize prosperity and wealth.
Yes, so 谢谢.
谢谢, thank you very much.
我
I
听说
I heard that
在
in
剪纸
paper cutting with scissors inside this area.
Okay, so what do I mean when I say 在剪纸中?
From what I understand, it's inside the area of paper cutting or inside a specific hobby or yes, would it be?
Yes. Actually, the thing is, inside something, if you're talking about inside something, you would think that the something must be concrete. For example, 在教室中，同学们都在认真学习。
Inside the school, all the classmates are studying?
Yeah, so inside the classroom, 教室, or 在学校中有8个班级, there are 5 classes, something like that. But actually, 在 something 中 can also mean with regard to something. So paper cutting is kind of like a subject or a theme, whereas I'm saying with regard to paper cutting, like you said, in the area of paper cutting. So that's how we use 在什么中. And 剪纸 is to cut paper with scissors. Well, actually, when it comes to paper cutting, some people use knives as well, but it's not the point. And the point is, 剪纸, paper cutting, is a very special form of art that's very popular here in China. And in the meantime, there are a lot of places now that you can actually appreciate people's paper cutting skills, and you can even try it for yourself. Something really fun that we will discuss in the second half of the show. And that is 我听说在剪纸中. And then the next word is 花.
花 flower.
Flower 常常
often
寓意着
to symbolize.
Actually, 寓意 can be used as a noun as well. So 这首诗的寓意是什么?
The symbol behind this
Yes, behind this poem. 诗歌 is a poem. Yes. So that's 寓意. 花开富贵.
花开富贵, prosperity in bloom.
Yes, that is a really good translation. We know 花 means flower, 开 blooming, 富贵 actually means wealth. It's very interesting because this word, for me, it's kind of like, we know 花开富贵now. It's like flower, blooming, wealth. There's also, for example, 花好月圆. 花 flower, 好 good, 月 the moon.
花好月
yuan is round. So when the flowers are blooming and the moon is round and bright, it's a good occasion. And we also have 花团锦簇. So 花团 is like the round and beautiful cluster of flowers, and 紧促 is like they are getting together. So all these words, they have these concrete subject in the word, yet they mean this very abstract feeling that everything's very prosperous, it's wealth, and people are very happy, and the moons are round. So when it comes to these kind of idioms, you have to understand the connotation behind it, or a little bit like the symbolism behind it.
Of course, and I find it very poetic and how everything comes back to flowers and wealth and prosperity.
Yes, so 花开富贵, prosperity and wealth.
花开富贵.
And then 对，希望我们未来的生活都能幸福美满。
Yes, and I hope that our future lives will be happy and fulfilling as the pattern shows.
Yes, so 对，
yes, correct.
希望
I hope that
我们
our
未来的
our future
生活
lives
都能
in this case both will be
can all be or both will be. So I think it depends on how you understand it. So you and me, that's both our lives, or the future days, it's kind of like all of our future days. So it depends on how you understand. Yes. 幸福美满
幸福美满 happy and fulfilling.
Yes, happy and fulfilling. So 幸福 carries the meaning of happy, and it's not the I am very happy at the moment because I've received a gift kind of happy. It's like my days are happy and my life is happy kind of happy. And 美满 美 we know is beautiful, and 满 is full, so fulfillment.
Oh, 美满
Yes, 幸福美满
幸福美满
All right, that's the conversation. Do you have any questions, or can we give it a go?
I wanted to ask you if there's other ways to indicate future, or is this way like the only way of indicating a very far future?
This is a good question, and interestingly, there is another way of saying future, that is tomorrow, 明天.
明天
Yes, in Chinese we sometimes say 明天会更好.
明天会更好 I hope tomorrow will be better.
Tomorrow will be better.
Oh,
yes. And it's not the kind of tomorrow that precisely the day after today. It's more like the future will be better.
Oh, I think in English also it's used.
Yes.
Tomorrow in the same way.
In the same way. So yes, 明天 is another way of saying future, but always
明天
translated as 明天, tomorrow.
Okay, so 未来 or 明天
Yes. All right.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Let's give it a go.
Perfect. 看我剪的这个图案怎么样？
第一次尝试就能剪成这样，我觉得你非常有天赋。
谢谢。我听说在真实中，花常常寓意着花开富贵。
对，希望我们未来的生活都能幸福美满。You're listening to Takeaway Chinese with myself, Niu Hongli, in Georgia. We would love to hear from you. Send us your thoughts via email to learnchinese@cri.com.cn. Coming up next, let's talk about some fun intangible cultural heritage experience that you can precisely experience here in China. Don't go away, so you will take some Chinese away. Welcome back to Takeaway Chinese. I'm Niu Honglin with Georgia Masset. Georgia, we've been on this subject for quite several episodes. That is, what can you experience if this is your first time, second time, or any time visiting China as a foreigner? Because we have a lot to offer, for sure. We've talked about the places to visit, including the Great Wall, the Summer Palace. We've also talked about some cultural related sites like the hometown of Kongzi, Confucius, Qu Fu, these places. And now we are on the subject of intangible cultural heritage that you can actually experience in China. So I'm pretty sure you've done a little bit of research already. What is the intangible cultural heritage that interests you the most?
Well, actually, before this episode and before talking about it, because now I'm a little more curious in paper cutting, what I wanted to do and something I've a little bit experienced is calligraphy, 书法. And it's something, yes, I've done a little bit in school, but at the same time, I think that when I come to China, and especially in Beijing, I will book a class and attend a class because I think I will be very bad. But
No,
at the
you
same
won't.
time,
You'll
it's
be
something.
great.
Oh no! It's very difficult, and it's something that we really don't have in Western culture. I mean, calligraphy is important, but I think it's not important anymore, or not at the same time. Well, at the same, from what I understood, it's also a sort of meditation, and you have to be very precise and into yourself. So it's something that I really want to do, because I'm always on the other side. So I'm always not very precise, not very attentive. And I've also wanted to try acupuncture, which is something that I've never done.
Yes, 针灸.
针灸.
Yes.
Oh yes, it's something. Yes, it's actually very popular, but I want to experience it in China, and to channel all the channels inside my body and regulate them. I think it's something that I really need at the same time, and also participate to a Chinese tea ceremony. And I think that a wedding would be the perfect occasion. So I have to be invited to a wedding first. But actually, I'm getting very curious in Chinese paper cut. When we were discussing about it and looking at some pictures, it also, like shufa, like calligraphy, looks like something where you have to be inside yourself and be very precise, which is something that I'm not, but I actually like doing these kind of activities, and it helps a lot to work on something that is exterior but inside yourself.
Yes, and when it comes to these kinds of intangible cultural heritage, 非遗 or 非物质文化遗产, it's interesting to know that actually many of these items are quite good for your cultivation of health. It's like it helps you to concentrate on yourself. It helps you to get into the flow. 心流, we call it 心流, so heart
心流.
flow, precisely. Yes, it's like when you're concentrating on the things that you do 100%, you get into the flow, and the flow helps you to ignore all the trouble that you encounter in your everyday life. And it also helps you to get into this almost meditation mode that is really good for your health. Let alone 针灸itself, acupuncture, as well as tea ceremony you talked about, because we know tea is really good for our health as well. So these are quite interesting intangible cultural heritage experiences that are widely provided for people visiting the country. And we know that here in China, it's a vast country, I say it a lot, with a lot of people with different ethnicities and different it's kind of like different regional cultures there.
Yes.
And the paper cutting, for example, 剪纸, or we call it 剪纸艺术, the paper cutting art.
剪纸艺术.
Yes. The final products can be very different in different regions. And you can go to different places in the country and see the paper cutting final products in different places and compare the different characters and distinction. And this can be very interesting as well.
Are you a good paper cutter?
I'm not, but I have to say,
really?
for my hometown Shanxi province, there are some really good paper cutters. And not only can we cut papers, we can even cut pastry. In Chinese, we have 花模.
花模.
模 is kind of steamed bun. It's another way of saying 馒头.
馒头.
And 模 is the steamed bun. And 花 is flour. It's also variety of. So it's kind of like saying we have a variety of different types of steamed bun. And they can be cut and formed and also even sculptured into different shapes. They can form, for example, the 12 zodiacs. They can be formed into different types of very beautiful flowers or with different patterns. And when you actually put them in a steam and steam them out, they look a little bit different from what you have shaped them for, because after the steaming process, but with the right technique and the right, very flexible and skillful hands, they can be formed into very beautiful and interesting patterns. 花模, it's definitely an art form from my hometown Shanxi province.
Oh, 花模, I have to look this up. I think it requires, when it comes to pastries or everything related to cakes or sweet, it requires a level of precision that I don't have. So I would love to try paper cutting. I'm really interested now.
Yes, I am quite interested in it as well, and I hope I can try it in other places. And we also know that, for example, Chinese 珠算, knowledge and practices of mathematical calculation through the abacus, can be another very interesting item. And of course, there's the 昆曲 opera and Peking opera and different types of opera. Maybe it is hard for you to actually experience it, but you can definitely appreciate it. So there are a lot of intangible cultural items that are there ready for you to have fun, to have your personal experience. And hopefully everyone coming to China enjoying the great view, perfect food can spare a little bit time trying your hands on this intangible cultural heritage. It will provide you with a whole new experience and understanding about the culture.
I completely agree. I think it's something that would be very sad to miss out or not to do in order to experience even better. A culture so different and so rich.
Yes. And that brings us to the end of today's Takeaway Chinese. I'm Niu Honglin with Georgia for today's show. For more episodes of the show, you can visit our website at radio.cgtn.com and go to the column Podcast. You can also listen to the show and read the script there. Find us wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. Just search for Takeaway Chinese. Don't forget to leave your questions, comments, and a 5-star rating. 感谢收听，我们下次再见。
Goodbye, everyone. 再见。